Good morning. Welcome to the Board of County Commissioners Appointed Directors Meeting for Tuesday, March 12th, 2024. It is 11:13 a.m. We have about an hour, 45 minutes. We're a little late, but we can go over if we need to. All the Board of County Commissioners is here. Commissioner Klaus on Zoom. We have a ton of directors. We'll go around and everybody will get a chance to give a brief report. So I won't go through that now, but for public virtual attendance, you may follow along on the Thurston County YouTube channel. And it's basically an open forum this morning. And I guess we'll just start with IT.
Hi, thank you. Sherry Ilg, IT Director. Updates for IT include quite a bit, but I'll just skim across them. If you have questions about specifics, let me know. Almost all of our Cisco access points have been replaced. The final ones will be replaced with the courthouse complex remodel. The good news about that is we don't have to pay that Cisco maintenance anymore, which was pretty expensive. So that's a good win for us. We have been working on setting up auto failover VPN configurations. When VPN fails, currently we have to go in and physically move the connection over to the new VPN, and now they're auto failing over, so that means you won't even notice. When the VPN fails, it'll automatically move to the other one. We've got 13 sites done out of 27. Another one's happening tonight, I think. So we're making great progress on that. We've spent lots of hours setting up our network monitoring. We implemented a network operations center about a year ago. It was very exciting. We are able to get more visibility on issues so that we can quickly tackle them as they come up. With 27 sites. Sometimes it's hard to know what's affected at any given point. So this network operations center, which is hanging up in our area if you want to come look at it, has all the sites on there, and it'll let us know when things are slow or down. So we're able to respond to them more quickly. So that's very exciting. All new iPhones are getting enrolled into Intune. I know I've talked about this a little bit in the past. As they come on board, we are enrolling them. We're going to start doing a proof of concept with IT's existing iPhones to get those enrolled, because we have to go back and do everyone else now. So we'll see how that goes. We began implementation of the Verona security software. We're reviewing information being provided by the tool and developing processes to address the results with departments and offices. This is the tool that we implemented that tracks data to make sure our data isn't accidentally being leaked, inadvertently being leaked. So this is also very exciting. We're getting reports, and the security office will reach out to the offices and departments to discuss the reports and if there's any changes that need to be made, whatever. Legistar, we're meeting on Thursday with all the stakeholders to validate the remaining schedule. We're going to go live with the Board of County Commissioners for the agenda piece first, and then we will follow up with the Board of Health and the Transportation Benefit District, and then work on all the commissions and boards after that. So that's for the agenda item setting. I can't talk about the video piece, so there's two pieces to that one. The permit tracking system, the new integration from GIS is stood up and is being connected. Our geodata team, Kelly and Austin, did an incredible job getting that done. This was a huge amount of work that had to be done before the permit tracking system could go live, and they did it, and it's awesome. They really, really put their nose to the grindstone to get it done, so it was big. The Oracle project, we're moving along. I don't have a huge amount to update on that because I could take all afternoon, but just to say that we're on top of it. We're moving forward. There's a lot going on, but we got recognized by Administrative Office of the Courts for being the only county to implement a full courtroom technology system using their grant funds. And I think Isaac is going to be speaking at some thing about how we did it. Anyway, they think we did a really great job with our courtroom of the future. So That's also very exciting. The IT department has established an after-hours on-call rotation to support the 24/7 sheriff's operations, and that's exciting because now they don't call me in the middle of the night anymore, so I really like that. We filled all of our network positions finally. Rodney took the new position. He used to be on the desktop team. And then Ken Mode started yesterday. We are very excited to have all of those positions filled for the first time in a very, very long time. So that's very exciting. We still have a couple of ITC2 positions on the applications team that we're having trouble filling. We aren't getting qualified applicants for those. We've reposted them with different job titles, trying to, it's still an ITC2, but it's a system administrator or it's an application developer, or to try and get some more people to apply for those, but it's tough. Those are tough positions to fill. Our desktop team, we will make a final offer on the final vacant ITC1 position, so that one will be fully staffed. So that's also very excited for the first time in a very long time. The technical manager position, we have interviews of 2 candidates scheduled for Friday. And the GIS3 position, we still have no qualified applicants for, and that one's been posted for probably 2 weeks. We're reposting that one also with a different job title because GIS3 doesn't tell the applicants what it's all about. So we're going to repost that one and hopefully get some good people for that position. Yes.
If you're struggling to fill positions and stuff, please let me know so that we can put out some social media posts too and try and highlight those, especially if the name of the position doesn't really reflect what it does. It allows us to put a little bit more information in.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you from CPID on the Excel stuff to your GIS team. We know it's a heavy lift and all the community is looking forward to this switchover.
It's exciting.
Continued good work.
Now it's going to go live the same time as the ERP, so it's going to be a really great month for us.
Targeting June, right?
June, July, yeah.
How's your fishing expeditions going?
My fishing, how are you doing on it?
I'm asking you from a risk position.
We actually have incredible results that I can send you about the number of people that failed the fishing expedition when we first started compared to the number now. It's like we're less than 2% or something, but I'll get you those numbers. Absolutely, I'll have them.
Well, it's not a rush on it.
What was it at
It just
its
comes up
worst?
under risk is all.
I don't know. I'd be making up numbers if I told you, but I can send it. It's exciting, though. We reported at the Cybersecurity Forum on a regular basis how well that fishing expedition actually does. It helps quite a bit. And I think I was sitting next to Jennifer one day when she said, "Nice try, Sherry. You're not going to get me on that." So people are really paying attention, and that's really what it's all about. Yeah, I can send those numbers.
All right, thanks, Sherry. Go ahead, Carrie.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Carrie Hennon, PreTrial Services. We had 2 new staff people start on March 1st, which is a lot in a very small department. We had a new pretrial program manager. That's a recently reclassified position that we are very happy to have. So lots of onboarding to do there. We also started someone in our new treatment sales tax funded hub operations coordinator position. So now we have 2 people working the hub. So she's getting onboarded as well. That's going really well. And we anticipate expanding hours soon. I'd say April or May. So stay tuned for info on that. Having a second person will be really helpful. The hub has been busy, as Commissioner Fournier got to see last week. It was hopping.
It was impressive.
So great visit from the commissioner last week. That was fun. And then I guess the other kind of broader pretrial system discussion, the advancing pretrial policy and research. I have to think about that every time. APPR project that the county's been engaged in since 2019 is sort of starting to wind down from an external technical assistance perspective. So some of our TA partners have been working with us on thinking through what are our goals for the rest of this year for using that technical assistance, and then what are our goals beyond that, and how will we accomplish that without external technical assistance? So how will we sustain the pretrial justice discussions that we've been having? So lots of kind of renewed energy as we think about the reshaping of that work. Those are my highlights.
Real quick, Carrie, on the hub, so I had a meeting with the municipal court judge of Olympia.
Yeah.
Did you hear the discussion when I brought that up? Okay, so she's got.
Rob
ideas about-
tipped me off a little
Yeah,
bit.
she's got ideas about their moving space. She's got ideas about doing different stuff with community court, and she's got ideas about a resource hub-ish thing and wanting to make sure that we can make those not in conflict with each other and complementary, not.
Yes.
So,
She reached out to us directly as well, and we encouraged her to reach out to county leadership, so I'm glad those
yeah, I mean, we might be able
conversations
to
are
steer
happening.
that ship the right way early on before anything gets too. far down
Right,
the-
yeah, it's a great vision, and, you know, the details matter. I think not competing with each other for providers is gonna be an issue. We have a wonderful provider network in the community, and as we all know, they are busy and stretched thin, and so, you know, we'd like that to be collaborative, and I would hate to see providers having to choose between, should we spend a couple hours in this hub or this hub? So I hope we can work together on those types of things. But it's a great idea, and if we were in a place where we had a regional courthouse complex, that it kind of goes along with that vision, so.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions for Carrie? Pat?
All right, good morning, Commissioners. Patrick O'Connor, Director of Thurston County Public Defense. I apologize, I'll have to leave after my comments. I have an all-staff here this morning. Briefed my colleagues on this yesterday. Last Friday, the Washington State Bar Association adopted the new standards for public defense that I briefed the board on 3 weeks ago. So we'll be working with staff, and I'll be back in probably 3 or 4 weeks as I digest these changes and present to the board on the impacts for Thurston County. So big picture, as the board's familiar with, these standards in public defense will have a sea change impact on public defense in the state of Washington. Here locally, significant impacts on staffing levels to comply. So without getting into too much of the details this morning, I'm sure there's a lot of questions the board has, but I'll try to schedule a work session here as soon as I can to brief the board and answer questions.
I'm glad we have Prop 1. That will ease the blow.
Yes. Yes, it's going to be it's very complex implementation. It's a 3-year implementation phase, but the first phase begins next year, which will impact our department. So I look forward to a long conversation about it. I have a lot of work to do, exciting work, but a lot of work to do to implement these standards.
In the short term, this might be a reason to use the rainy day fund. This is a state mandate that we had no control over. And if the state's not gonna fund it, we're gonna have to find a way. That might be a way to bridge until we figure out how to fund it. So that's a bigger conversation, but
It's hard, just one last comment, we already have been, and we'll continue to work on some projections in the first phase. It's challenging to do, but it's our top priority is to get the board some projections, so we can start to prepare. Okay. I'm sure there's a lot of questions, but I'll be back with some time to try to answer those and present in more detail. Again, I apologize, I have to leave now.
Thanks, Pat. We'll go to public health.
Right. Excuse me. David Bain, Public Health Director. Couple updates. This session, the legislature passed Senate Bill 5970. Thanks to Commissioner Minzer, Commissioner Mejia for supporting the bill. This gives the Board of Commissioners flexibility on appointing commissioners to the Board of Health. And we can talk further about sort of the implications of that, but I'm excited for that bill to have gone through. No amendments, no opposition. I don't think we've gotten any confirmation on signing.
It's going to be signed tomorrow.
Oh, good to know.
As part of the governor's 11 a.m. bill signing for Senate bills. There's about 20 some odd bills, and we're number 18 on the list. So I know that several commissioners are heading out to a chamber luncheon, but if anyone. Tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm traveling tomorrow.
Yeah, so, but it's a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, please do.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner, for
Yes.
So that's exciting for us as a county and as a Board of Health. Speaking of Board of Health, we just hired a Board of Health, we're calling it a program manager, but Board of Health clerk. They started yesterday. You'll get to meet them tonight. They will not be in charge of anything tonight because it's their second day, but they will be here to observe and listen and meet folks. I'm really excited about that. Jacqueline Gilly, that's her name. So really excited about that, which is a theme for us generally of just hiring. This has been a really big push for us. The board approved a really robust package of positions for us that we got from state funding, and we've been making incredible progress on that front with the hiring process. We had 8 people start this month. We've got 8, or in February, we've got 8 jobs right now that are currently, we're finalizing the hires, and I think we've got probably around 8 or 9 jobs that are currently still posted. So we are moving and grooving. At the Board of Health tonight, I'll give you more of a full update of the breakdown of that number, but the team has done a really good job in a short amount of time. Just a quick other update for us is that we are still tracking sort of the end of the respiratory season. I think there was a news alert last month. We did have 1 influenza death. And so just for folks to continue to be aware of that. We've also been trying to track measles as well. We had several suspect cases in the county that turned out to not be positive, which is great news. But I will say there's an elevated risk of measles the last 2 years versus the previous several decades. There's a lot of talk about this. Part of it is, there's no way around this. Part of it is sort of a movement of vaccine hesitancy and sort of anti-vaccine pockets. And as our overall immunity levels have gone down as a community, your ability to be protected goes down. So the idea of herd immunity is if it's like 95% of the population is vaccinated against a particular disease, even someone unvaccinated, right, is protected in that scenario. Over the last 4 years, those numbers are going down. And so it's no longer a guarantee that just because everyone else is vaccinated against measles, you're fine. We're seeing that trend change. I'll get the exact numbers for you, but I saw something from the CDC that I think last year there's something like 48 cases of measles in the country total. I think or 54. This year we're at 48, like in March, right? Compared to a whole year last year. And so in Washington, I think we've seen cases in Spokane and cases in Clark County. And so we're just trying to monitor that and watch for it. But again, we have not seen any positive cases here in Thurston. We had a couple of scares, but turned out not to be measles. So that's kind of high on our list of public health. And then last thing I'll mention is Providence just released their community health needs assessment, which is something they're required to do every few years. We were a really key part of that assessment and helping them with the data and presentation. We're going to be working with Providence and Multicare together next year to do kind of a joint assessment, which is really exciting, and looking at pulling Kaiser into that potentially as well. So those are the updates I've got.
Is there a connection with the border on this measles thing? Is that part
None
of
that
the issue?
None that we've seen.
Nothing to do with that?
In Clark County, one of the things that just has been noted has been that's a community that has seen measles outbreaks kind of repeatedly. When I first moved here in 2018, there was a pretty significant outbreak that happened, you guys might recall. And part of that is just there's definitely a community down there of folks who have different sort of perspectives on timing of vaccines, whether they should get vaccinated. And it's been kind of historical. Like, it's just not a new thing for that part. Worldwide, we're seeing measles pop up. it's not specific to like, Mexico or South America. We're seeing cases pop up all over Europe. I mean, it's being widespread at this point. It's not one particular point.
Is it the virus that's changed, or is it human behavior that's changed?
Again, this is way out of my scope to get into that detail. I would say that from experts, I think that it is not the virus that's changed at this point. Yeah, it's with people.
All right, go ahead, Bruce.
All right, Bruce Rorba, Acting Central Services Director. Short update for Central Services. I'll start with recruitment. Recruitment is proceeding well. We have 5 interviews for 5 positions this week. We have 1 start this week. We have another start scheduled for week after next. So making progress there. Our projects team is getting input from customer offices and departments for the CIP. So that is moving forward. And as far as rate generation goes, internally we are scrubbing our inventories for posting for customer review on 4/1.
What positions were those?
The starts,
Yeah.
we have 1 equipment mechanic, Dale Spain, who started yesterday, and another equipment mechanic starting on 3/26.
And then you were still recruiting for,
And we're recruiting for 2 admin assistants, a 3rd equipment mechanic position, which is vacant, and 2 facilities, 2. And that's all 5. And there's a 6th recruitment that is still at application review, which is executive assistant.
Are we doing work for other jurisdictions? I mean, talk about mechanical work or vehicle.
We have 1 service agreement with 1 external jurisdiction. We've not done any work for them this year.
Is there any talk of expanding that, or maybe not doing it? Does it ever come up? I've heard of other jurisdictions that are talking about doing some consolidation.
I haven't heard about any consolidation. We have historically had support arrangements with about 20 districts, but a lot of that was focused on radio repair. So when the T-CERN radio upgrade occurred, that reduced the need for the radio repair to support the fire departments and the smaller police departments in the area.
Anything for Bruce? Public Works?
Hey, Karen Weiss, Public Works Assistant Director. So continuing the theme of hiring, we have hired or promoted since the beginning of the year 15 positions. We currently have 16 positions in recruitment and 5 in interview status. So that's 21 right now that we're actively working on. We have brought on some key positions since the beginning of the year, just recently hired and then 1 offer out for the 2 road operations supervisors. So that will give us 4 road operations supervisors that will really provide some much needed expanded structure over there just to meet our service needs. We have brought on a utility operator 1. So this is an addition to our utilities fleet, and that will really assist with the resiliency and service levels that we have for that 24/7 operations. And then we were hired a training coordinator who will be focusing on, especially with our road ops group, the equipment certifications and getting people trained on equipment to be able to use them. We continue to see challenges with our senior civil engineers and civil engineers. We currently have 5 open positions in that area, and we just continue to struggle to get qualified candidates in there. I think you all are aware, we had good news with the conclusion of the legislative session. We did get the full funding of $7 million for the State Route 507 roundabout. So we did have money in the current biennium that we're able to start work on that. So we are working now with local programs on the agreement, and we anticipate that we should have that agreement in place within about a month. We'll be bringing you a local agency agreement for your approval probably within the month, and we'll get started on design. Current estimate of completion of that project right now is in 2027, February 2027. Gearing up for our 2024 chip seal program. Gonna do about 50 miles in Southwest County. So working on putting that program together. You also may be aware the part of your trail connectivity program funding through the REIT fund, the Yelm Rainier Tenino Trail Extension from Tenino to Crowder. That is now paved, is not yet open. We have some punch list items like traffic markings, putting bollards on there, but we expect that to be open here and coming up soon.
That looks good.
It is good, it's exciting. It looks, there's a picture in the
Looks great.
monthly meeting notes, so that's awesome. We are noticing a little bit of relief in the bid climate. We just had bid openings on Friday for 3 projects, the Yelm Highway Preservation Program, the Pacific Avenue Preservation Program, and the Johnson Point and Hawkesbury Roundabout. And in all 3 cases, the bids came in slightly lower than our engineer's estimates. So that is a kind of a turning a corner for us, at least now. We'll hope that climate continues. That's very helpful. And then also from the bid standpoint, we did receive 1 bid for our compactor replacement project. So that's going through the evaluation process. Not to spoil it, but it did come in a little bit over our current budget authority, so we will probably be having a discussion. Well, we won't probably, we will be having a discussion with the board, but I will tell you it was very close. And it just continues to be a real need for us over there. Just even over the weekend, the compactor was down again. So we are seeing just more and more of our compactor failures, and so this will be a good improvement for our level of service over there. That's it for Public Works. Questions?
Don't see any. HR.
Excuse me, allergy season. Good morning, Maria Ponte, HR Director. Staying on the theme of recruitment, these are countywide numbers. In February, we had 17 new hires. We had 12 employees that left employment. 2 of those were retirements. And we saw 11 promotions. So that's great news that we are providing opportunities for our current employees. Civil service, they've been extremely busy with promotional boards and assessment centers. They have done the assessment for laterals, and they're undergoing majority of my staff are busy with the ERP, the TC Connect. So lots and lots of effort and work going into that. We're also in budget preparations for our internal rates. This year sees our law enforcement uniform contracts expire, so we're doing the study there, the compensation study there. We'll be coming before the board in the future to get direction on that. HR department recruitment, I filled my executive assistant position. I poached from Central Services. And 2 weeks ago filled the reception, so that leaves me with 3 vacancies. And class and comp, as you know, I'll be meeting with Rob and Robin to strategize a path forward, working with internal staff. So more to come on that. Oh yeah, and so employee recognition, we will start doing the preparations for that for May Public Service Recognition Week. With that, are there any topics that I didn't touch upon you'd like to know more?
I don't know about bringing it up. I don't know, we had quite a discussion this morning, so I don't know if this is the point we're ready to proceed with that discussion, or let's just see what happens.
Give us a week to chat.
It's on their docket.
Yeah, okay.
On the docket.
Driving on the freeway, I saw a Dick's hamburger mobile truck. So if the ice cream truck's not available this year, keep it in mind.
Okay. The ice cream is a big hit, by the way. Everybody loves the ice cream truck.
Everybody happy.
That's right. Joshua Cummings, CPED Director. So we'll start with the recruitment stuff. We've got our compliance position, hoping to be filled in the next couple of weeks. That would then leave us with, that will give us 2 compliance employees and 1 compliance supervisor, so 3 for the 200 square miles of Thurston County. We have a community planning senior planner position opening up. and the fair manager position has been posted. And the PAC Tech 1, so for the BDC, the Building Development Center, that will be posted. And a lot of what we were able to accomplish is promotions from within, so excited to have Abby Adams as a senior planner in Brett's group. And then have that PAC Tech 1 position is really our entry-level position, so we hire for customer service. So if anybody is connected to folks that you know are good customer service representatives, but might not have any planning background, that's just fine. This is the place to send them, and we can train up the skills. But that first point of contact in the Building Development Center, being able to talk to humans is important. Staying with the community planning senior planner position, some tough news. Brad Murphy, who many of you have known, is retiring, is medically retired. And so that's the position that we'll be filling there. But there may be a point at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday that we will walk on some messages and say thank you to Brad. He will not be able to join us in person, but we'll find time for him to Zoom in and provide our appreciation for all of his hard work. He was the person that we got from Ecology 10 years ago to help start the Shoreline Master Program update, and he did a great job setting up the foundation. So he'll be missed. That's a tough one for the team, but I want to make sure you're aware. Let's see. We've got a compliance update to the board coming up on March 27th. I know there's been some interest in that from the Board of County Commissioners, and appreciate that. It'll be good to have a conversation about what cooperative compliance looks like under Title 26 and to get your input on next steps. On March 18th, I have the HCP annual report to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, where essentially we get to defend every permit that we let out related to the Habitat Conservation Plan. In 2023, there was approximately 180 of those that we processed. We're now up to 200 with 2024. But that program on that side is going well, and I think that the conversation with U.S. Fish will be fruitful. We've been partnering the whole time, so there won't hopefully be any surprises on their part, but we need to do this annual report every year to make sure that we're in compliance with the incidental take permit, which allows us to give permits out to individual developments. You have a docket update coming up on March 25th. And don't forget about the fair.
Lots of comments coming in.
Lots of comments coming in on the docket, yep, and that'll be the time to review those comments, provide some input that we're receiving, and then any information that the board would like to hear more on any of those docket items. I am considering an opportunity to have the applicants come in at some point and speak for themselves, whether that's relaying to them on a Tuesday afternoon that time is available, or engaging at another time. But I do think that there's been a gap in the past of our staff doing what we can to communicate their intent, but it always is a little clunky when we're not the people that are the applicants. So in consideration, haven't yet totally zeroed in on how we do that appropriately, but want to make sure that you know that we're thinking about how to be, again, customer service oriented. Let's see, fair, that's what I was going to say. Don't forget about the fair. July 31st through August 4th. I know it seems like a long ways out, but it catches up quick. And August 3rd, Saturday morning, is the pancake breakfast. So if you don't have it on your calendar yet, everybody at this table is invited to serve the community through pancakes and coffee and orange juice. So Saturday morning, August 3rd. And then just a quick heads up, your new Planning Commission chair is Derek Day and vice chair is Joel Hansen. I think they're going to be a great duo as we go on to the next stages with all of the big items that the board and staff have already put on their work plan. So meet with them on a regular basis, and they're excited for next steps. End.
Yeah. Buzz on over to the fair is what we were.
There you go. That's the mascot, is the bee. Buzz on over.
You said they were gonna do a beer garden. It might get buzzed at the fair.
I didn't say it.
No?
This will not like that.
I like it.
All right, Ben, you're up.
All right, Ben Miller Todd, Emergency Services. A couple items from the EM side. I have had the chance to talk to some of you about just introductory conversations about PSP's public safety shutoff program that they're looking at implementing this summer in Thurston County. We're looking at scheduling, just to be clear, a board work session to have some question and answers with PSE, as well as our May seminar to talk about being fire wise or fire prepared going into the summer season. And so there's a couple of components that'll be coming out here in May where we'll have some conversations about what PSC's program looks like, as well as what the fire outlook is for Thurston County moving forward. Unfortunately, I think you've seen a couple articles. It's looking like it's a little drier, especially on snowpack. And so that's been a little bit of a struggle for us in terms of looking at how early we start into fire season and how long it goes. And so that's just making sure that we're all aware. As a last note, there's a marketing campaign that we're not looking to, that we'll be pushing, that is a regional push. All of us have a little bit of confusion, I would say, around what is a level 1, level 2, level 3 evacuation, and trying to understand what that looks like to the public. And if it's confusing to us, it's going to be confusing to everybody else. With that, there's a rebranding, if you will, to Ready, Set, Go. To make it short and sweet and easy. So then when messages go out for evacuation notices, people are aware that I'm getting ready, I'm just getting set, I'm getting ready to walk out of the house or wherever I'm located, or it's time to go. And so really rebranding that marketing, that's a regional approach between Thurston, King, Pierce, and Snohomish, just to rebrand how we message, to make it clear. For the Medic 1 side, we did a heavy overhaul on our subcommittee structure, everything below EMS Council. And so just so you're aware, sometimes we only see the tip of the iceberg on this. The EMS Council is the one recommending to the Board of County Commissioners, but there's over 75 individuals that are involved in our substructure or subcommittee structure in a plethora of different arenas, whether it's protocols, whether it's training, whether it's equipment, and all these different things to bring accurate information up through the EMS Council to the Board of County Commissioners. And so there was a pretty significant overhaul in that structure to make us more efficient. That was approved at Operations Committee and through the EMS Council just recently. With that, you'll remember that you've approved AEDs throughout the county. That deployment is underway and should be done closing out the end of this quarter. So by the end of March, we're anticipating all AEDs will be deployed throughout the county for that update. The last time we updated those, I'll remind you, was 20 years prior. So this is an excellent investment in our infrastructure. Additionally, tablets are on order and medic units are still scheduled to arrive as a Christmas present this year because of back ordering issues that were approved in 2022. So in terms of back ordering, it's been a significant issue. The 8th Medic Unit, just a quick update. We're finalizing statistics on that for presentations to Operations Committee and the EMS Council. We are looking to add in an 8th Medic Unit, and it's appropriated in the budget for 2025. The things that you would assume were the hurdles, I would say pre-pandemic, and what are the hurdles now are actually very different. In terms of the contracting, it's fairly streamlined. We have ALS contracts that were approved through the board that are fairly reproducible for adding a new medic unit, but staffing is actually the biggest issue. As it currently sits, we have 10 open paramedic positions, 10 of the 90 that are approved throughout the system. If we were to add in right now that 8th medic unit, it makes it 20, which is almost a 20% deficit in the number of paramedics we need to run those units. And so staffing has really been the hiccup in terms of making sure that we can get that up and running. We've slowed down just a little bit, taken a look at our staffing model, have done a recruitment push, not only locally or regionally, we've actually done nationally to do that push and bring providers in. We'll see how this goes in April after that national push to see if we can bring in those providers. If not, EMS Council has been briefed that it may be a budget committee and a Board of County Commissioners conversation over what does it look like to train our own if we cannot recruit regionally or nationally. And so more to come on that topic. Lastly, there will be a presentation at Lacey City Council this afternoon over a variety of statistics. One of those that I want to pull up and kind of call out is that we've had struggles with transportations into our emergency departments and longer wait times. So what we've messaged out to the board routinely are longer wait times where we're waiting 45 minutes, an hour, 90 minutes, or 2 hours or greater. Just waiting in an ambulance to get a bed in the ER, which ties up our resources to go back out into our communities, which has been a big struggle. It's been a sticking point. What I'm gonna call out is that the off-campus emergency department that's located at Pacific and Gulf in Lacey by Multicare is also a location that we can now transport. As of the first 2 months of operation, we've seen a 7% of our total volume be diverted, if you will, or funneled towards the OSED, the off-campus ED, which is not insignificant. We've seen 2 additional percentage points go towards CMC in terms of the proportion, which decompresses our level 3 trauma center. So St. Pete's in turn has seen a reduction in the volume that EMS is transporting into their facility by 9%. And so all of that reappropriation of those calls has actually seen a significant decrease in the first 2 months in terms of wait times. We have not seen a call go over 90 minutes as of this point in the year, which is significant when we had 60s and 70 times that patients were waiting for 3 or 4 hours in the back of an ambulance on hospital property, waiting to get into the ER, just because of how backed up we are. So we're starting to see some of that throughput come back, more efficiency as we spread it out, more infrastructure, and that's what we were hoping for when we messaged that before. Additionally, I'll call out that the throughput's improved with public health. I would say it's not public health's doing, but I'd say some of the changes in how we look at long-term care facilities and COVID restrictions has also helped to decompress the hospital so we have better throughput out into long-term care facilities instead of being stuck in the hospital and tying up beds. And so you'll see potentially more on that this afternoon. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
You said plethora. That was awesome.
Awesome.
Questions for Ben? All right, Commissioner, we have 5 minutes. If any commissioner updates, or county manager, or assistant county manager.
No, I was going to just share that we have the signing of the bill, so we already covered that one, so pretty exciting.
Not speaking for all the directors, but for myself, I am interested to hear from the new commissioners your thoughts. It's been a couple of weeks or months now that you've been on the job.
Me on the spot.
Any thoughts on your position so far? And for you as well, Commissioner Klaus?
Yeah, I can go first. I think that we've talked a little bit, but I am really enjoying things so far, especially these last couple of weeks with the public comment period on the docket items. I've been having a lot of really meaningful conversations with community members, and I even on Friday, after we were done with all of our meetings, or when I was done with all my meetings for the day, I don't know if we had master calendar stuff, but I got to drive around the county and look at all of the areas where we had some docketed items of interest, and that was really cool. So I'm just enjoying the opportunity to learn things that are kind of outside my comfort zone, and I think probably one of my favorite aspects of the job is conversations with the constituents, because we don't have a ton of time for those conversations, but when we do have our Thursday and Friday kind of flexible days, I've been able to kind of stack constituent conversations during those days, and that's when things kind of start to come full circle, and I'm able to take what we're learning on the policy side and in our work sessions and planning sessions and hear from the community how those issues actually impact them. So that, I think, is probably one of my favorite parts, but things feel like they're clicking these last couple of weeks, so it's getting even better, and I was already having a good time before, so 2 thumbs up on my end.
I just appreciate all of you humoring me and my questions that I ask, so I appreciate that.
All right, good deal. Thanks, everybody. Be adjourned.